Divinity Original Sin 2 is the last game that Larian has made prior to Baldur's Gate 3, and it does seem like they hold a special regard for it. I have found quite a fair few references to the companions of this game. The one that made me pay more attention to my surroundings was a painting. Because in my second playthrough I decided to amp up the difficulty to Tactician, it meant I needed more food for long rests. So I became a loot goblin, hoarding everything to sell later and buy food. One very profitable piece of loot that you don't need to use for anything else is art. This was the same strategy I used in Divinity, even stealing paintings from a vendor and then selling them back to him. I think Astarion would have approved of this method. So imagine my surprise when I find a painting of a skeleton in the overgrown ruin. Funny that it was in the ruin where you also find some undead skellies, but regardless. Finding this painting was a very squeal-inducing moment for me, because it depicts Thane, a companion and romance option that I picked from Divinity Original Sin 2. Of course, I did not sell this one. I kept it and realized that there are probably other paintings out there with the rest of the companions. So I began to scour every room, every wall, every corner just to see if I can find more. And I was rewarded for all this effort. The next painting I found was of Losse. It was casually hanging in Letty's room. The Red Prince's painting was at Joaquin's rest, in the burning room that Floric was stuck in. These three were the easiest to find. Ifan's was in a room in the house with the three ogres that are quote-unquote dining in the blighted village. I almost missed it. It was in a tiny room on the second floor, or more like what remained of that second floor. Sybil's painting was the hardest to find for me. It was hanging in the hag's hut behind some vines. It took me so long to find it that I almost gave up. I just accidentally hovered over the area and found it magically. The only one left was that of Marcus, and for the life of me I could not find it on this map. I moved on and scoured Rosamund Monastery, forgot about it, and then went to the Underdark, and then finally I found it in the Arcane Tower. It's about the only building in the whole Underdark, to be fair, so if it was anywhere in this map, that's where it would have been. It was hanging on a wall in the bedroom level. Now, with my collection complete, I could finally go back to playing the game without worrying that I missed a painting. This wasn't the only mention to the Divinity 2 companions. Since I have the digital deluxe edition, I also got the chest with the extra clothes inside. All these were items that the companions in Divinity Original Sin 2 used or had in their possession. We get Sybil's needle, Losse's lute, Marcus's hat, the prince's cape, which I would love to have in real life, and of course Fane's shape-shifting mask. Nothing from Ifan though. Would have liked his crossbow. The most useful one of these, I think, is the shape-shifting mask, and it's not just my bias towards Fane talking here. This mask gives you the spell Disguise Self, which can be very useful, especially in the beginning. Also, the Death Shepherds around Rosamund Monastery look very much like Fane, but I'll stop talking about him now.